Japanese tales. Bring back that ferry! A little crowd of people waiting for the ferry at Kuroki in Ichizen province were joined by a mountain ascetic named Kitobo, a fellow who had done the pilgrimage to Golden Peak, to Komono, and to every other sacred mountain of any importance in the land. When the ferry arrived, the people paid their fare and went aboard, but Kitobo demanded to be taken across for free. The ferryman refused and cast off. "How can you do this to me?" Kitobo shouted, but the ferryman ignored him and continued to row away. Kitobo clenched his teeth and began rubbing the beads of his rosary intently together, making a bizarre buzzing sound. He was casting spells, as anyone could obviously tell. The ferryman glanced back at him from a few hundred yards offshore, showing plainly enough by his look that he thought Kitobo a pathetic fool. Kitobo stared after him and stamped his feet onto the sand halfway up his shins, then, glaring red-eyed at the ferry and almost demolishing his rosary with the fury of his rubbish, he began to shout, "Bring it back! Bring it back!" The boat kept going. Kitobo strode to the water's edge. "Guardian spirit," he thundered, "bring that ferry back. I'm through with the Buddha forever if you do not." Next, he threatened to throw his priestly stole into the sea. The bystanders turned pale when he saw what he was doing. The boat began gliding back toward the shore, even though there was no wind. That's it, Kitobo roared. "Hurry, hurry, bring it in." The onlookers turned paler still. "Fine," he bellowed when the ferry was less than 100 years offshore. "Now roll it over. Capsize it." This time the onlookers cried out in protest. "What a horrible thing to wish! You brute! Why can't you leave them alone?" Kitobo only rose to a still higher pitch of ferocity. "Turn that ferry over now!" he thundered. There was a huge splash as the ferry capsized, and the 24 passengers were pitched into the sea. Kitobo wiped the sweat from his brow. "The idiots," he muttered. "When will they ever learn?" And slowly he stalked off, back to the mountain.